HCS Anaheim is presented by AMD, Astro Gaming, the Marines, Zowie, and Xbox Plays.
Andy, we've been waiting quite a long time, it feels like, to get back into the casters booth, and it's great to have a great, very interesting series ahead of us with two teams that are kind of at different, ends of maybe where they want to be right now. G2 are kind of just looking to break through into those top positions, prove themselves as a top team. Complexity, on the other hand, fought through that open bracket, made it here, and now want to make some noise.
Yeah, you bring it up perfectly. I mean, both teams are not where they want to be, right? Both of them have the reputation that they need to cement for this season, and neither of them have done it yet. I think G2 has yet to break into that top 4 conversation. Like you say, Complexity, to be honest, has yet to break into the top 8 real conversation. So an opportunity for both of them, but as you heard Gaskin talking about, the scrim results certainly are one-sided right now.
They certainly are. G2 the favorites without doubt going into this series. However, Complexity, they've got a fan in Golden Boy, at least. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but at the same time, it certainly shows that there's beliefs to be had, and there's a couple of players you look at on this team. You look at the likes of Hysteria. I know you wanted to talk a little bit about him, that veteran, ability and leadership that he can bring to the team, but he's actually seemed to be playing a little bit of a different role, Hysteria, on this team to what we've been used to historically.
It is interesting to see Hysteria right now with the lowest KD on this Complexity roster, but don't let that fool you. I got to tell you, having coached Jacob for a long time, there's a reason you probably see Jacob with a little bit lower KD right now, and it's just because I think he's really moved into an all-arounder role, and I think he is here to make sure that the objective work gets done.
Well, we're going to have to see if he can get that objective work done, and for G2, it's a chance to prove themselves on LAN. I think a lot of these players on this lineup have been looking forward to getting offline, to be honest with you. Their online performances, I know a few of them, stuck on opposite ends of the coasts across America, which certainly can have an influence on things. But when you hear it from the players themselves saying, hey, scrims have actually been going pretty well, and they're pretty confident coming into things, then that's what you want to be, right? And now we're back on LAN. We have G2 versus Complexity. It's going to be our first match of the series.
Here we go now. Second series of the day as well, and some early aggression coming in from the Complexity side already to C-Plat, and gotta like that. Answered right back, though, by the side of G2, so they're going to be able to hold for just a second. We'll have to see how this opening rush ends up.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trade across the board at the moment. You can see a few players kind of exchanging kills. Vetra, unfortunately, is going to be caught off guard by Straightstick, who's got that Mangler opportunity to maybe pick up a double, but Sab is going to be there to give him a little helping hand along the way to maybe pick up that power-up that's just popped. And at the moment, you can see that G2 are kind of commanding the map at the moment, but no real teams in position or players in position to get the op ball in hand quite yet.
Very nice work here already from Straightstick, and you're already seeing what we talked about on the desk, the min-max, and nice shots from Triton as well. And the overshell grab does come in for Sab, so we got to keep an eye on that. I'll hold that thought for just a second, see what he's able to do.
Well, now we're going to be on board with Sab. You can see the G2 did have weapons and power-up control, but still only 1 point on the board, and it is actually going to be on the side of G2 by the looks of things. I think we might have the colors of the HUD a little bit mixed up at the moment, but we'll get that sorted as quickly as possible. As you can see, the sniper now going to be in the hands of Sam, but he's going to be taken down. It's so vital to get that power weapon out of the hand. At the moment, Complexity find themselves 3 dead, but so do their opponents, excuse me, which is going to be G2.
Yeah, Triton is in trouble here, tries to make the repulsor connect down on bottom pillars, but not an easy place to fight out of when you're fighting against players like that on the other side of the stage, and right away going to be fought right back, though. Gotta love that play, little repulsor of the nades, and they're going to go back and also repulsor back up, so a little bit of momentary control here for the side of G2.
Triton taken down like that. Use of the repulsor as well. It was almost like, hey, I've got your back, teammate. You go forward before me. And if he doesn't want to, it's like a little push, Trust me, I got your back. But at the moment, it's going to be Complexity who find themselves 2 down. Rob the Turtle's going to be taken down and no shields, and Gilkey in a position to clean that one up as well. Overshield going to be popping around 2 seconds time, and at the moment, unfortunately, him and Complexity, they're on the back foot as Gilkey is starting to not only get warm, but maybe start to catch fire a little bit.
Oh my, takes to the skies. Was he going to get the over? Let's see if he gets it. No, Rob gets away, but still quite a display from Gilkey there. The repulsor sky high triple kill, starting things off with a bang.
Yeah, what's that in the sky? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Gilk. Gilk taking to the skies, and there's nothing scarier than a flying Gilk, let me tell you that. At the moment, G2 in complete control. They have that next overshield as well. Gilkey's starting to find that form that we know that he has. He's got a heat wave now, replacing one weapon with another, and look at the score, Andy. 56 and rising to 0.
And let's not sugarcoat it here. He's also going to find Hysteria in the back. Mangler versus the Wave for just a second. Gonna pop right back up as well. Look at, oh my gosh, the man's got moves. Just making around. Surprisingly doesn't get a trade up top tower, but let's not sugarcoat it. Guilty is stunting on fools. You don't just repulsor up when an overshield's popping like that. That's a beautiful little clip, and you got to think maybe that's just the spark that G2 needed for this series.
Yeah, Complexity going to need something like that to get back into this game at the moment because G2 looking like they're running away with things here. 63 points, and it was rising for just a few seconds, but a couple of kills actually going to go in their favor, but now they're being turned around almost immediately. So Complexity on the back foot for sure. Rob the Turtle tries to survive, but look at this pressure now coming in. G2 really putting Complexity to the sword.
Yeah, look at this now, 65-0. Not often that you see a score line like this at this level. Keep in mind, these are the best 16 teams in North America here competing, and only 16 teams made it, but still a huge score line in our second series of the day, game number 1.
Sab not quite hit the shot, but now but re-challenges to take down Vetra.
I mean, does that sum it up or what? Look at that confidence. He's under pressure from both sides, still hits the no-scope, and still able to clean up before he dies.
Yeah, even with that play, though, you can see at the moment, the Complexity struggling a little bit. Try and manage to pick up a double kill, but he's the last alive. He'll find a sniper rifle. Maybe he can do something pretty crazy with it, but hello, Tusk. He's going to take that back into the control of G2. And at the moment, it's the G2 show here. They're only 16 points away from closing out the first round of the game.
There you got 9 and 5 there from Gilk, 8 and 4 from Stab as well. Every player, of course, positive. And some good numbers from the side of G2.
So Rob the Turtle has the overshield. He's going to have to make a play here. At the moment, the only thing he's chasing is shadows. Nobody can be found, and this window is looking not quite as appealing as it may have done a few seconds ago, as Rob the Turtle will finally pick up the kill onto Tusk. Straight Stick's going to be there, but there's Sab as well. And that was like a jump scare. Halo Infinite once again reminding us that it's a horror game as well as an arena shooter.
Nice plays there from Rob, just trying to make something happen, but you have to think maybe too little too late here. 2 minutes on the clock, 88-0. Now going to just tick the ball away here, trying to make something happen.
Yeah, just waiting for that 1 point, though. It's not happening. I was going to say, just hold it, at least get off of that 0 and make it a 1, and that will be done, so to speak, as Straight Stick now is going to have the opportunity to play around cuts here, maybe look to push those pillars, but gets a call out and just plays his life a little bit here, waits for teammates before they can try and move in to help Gilkey, who had that hot ball in hand, and look at the timing of that. Not only do they pick up the kill at the perfect time, they also keep Gilk alive, they keep the oddball. Straight Stick picks up 2, and now will pick up the ball as well.
Straight Stick does so well there in that melee battle back C as well, just to maintain control, and it looks like they're just going to hold this and be able to wait and bait. I mean, you got Sab here with the wave, he gets taken down eventually, but look at that, that'll be the round 1-0 in favor of G2, and it was a very quick one.
It looked very, very comfortable for G2, didn't it?
Yeah.
It really did. It didn't look really like they were under any kind of pressure throughout that first round, and even when they didn't have the odd ball in their hands, it seemed like they always had numbers. It was just a case of, just taking your time. We'll pick up the odd ball when we pick up the last 2 kills. There was no real desperation to push the objective when they didn't need to. It was clinical, to be honest with you, and that's what we need to see from G2, not just in this series as well, Andy, but I think throughout the tournament. It's being able to clutch up in those moments, but also making sure they're efficient across the maps.
Absolutely, that's what you're going to look to see. And look at both sides of the opening rushes now. We've seen both sides. It's so key to be hitting your curb slides, to be hitting those, like we talked on the desk, min-maxing all of your curb slides, your equipment uses. There's enough time passed in Halo Infinite where if you are not hitting all the mechanics you need to, you will lose games.
Yeah, you will lose games, you will lose overshields, you will lose weapons. It is as simple as that. You'll be beaten there by a fraction of a second, and that can make all of the difference. But speaking of getting away with things, it's going to be Sabinator who's getting away with the odd ball in his hands. 2 dead per side at the moment, so G2 will be able to at least creep forward and pick up a little bit of ball time. 22 seconds and rising for them. Straight Stick has fallen, though. Complexity now find themselves 4 alive, so they're going to have to try and break this setup.
Yeah, let's see. A little bit of a play ball here is going to come around because you did have that overshield push that was coming back. But look how quickly it's identified, even with the nest angles as well. And you got to think this is just clinical control of tower there. Even without the overshield, even without the snipe, they do so well to actually muscle Complexity back off of C.
Straight Stick, last player alive there. Rob the Turtle trying to find him and will find him. It's a little bit of combination play, a left from him and a right from another teammate. And now, for the first time in the game, Andy, we finally see Complexity with some sort of setup. They managed to get a 3 or 4 dead there. They have the ball in their hands now. How can they hold?
Also, that ball didn't play. You actually saw that G2 turned away from back pillars to fight at C, thinking that ball had played, and it didn't. Pretty surprising to see that. Now, I don't think it's going to be a huge moment there. Double kill from Stab in the feed, as you see. But still surprising that ball did not go off there. Just a little more oomph needed.
Yeah, it's going to be Straight Stick who's managed to get the ball back in the hand. So not too much of a big mistake here coming in from G2. Complexity not able to hold. Very convincingly, to be honest with you. It was kind of the first push that came in. They sort of folded over like wet paper, but 43 and rising the score to 12. There's a heat wave from Sabinator as well, as he'll pick up the beatdown and also pick up the protection of a teammate. There's another one as well, and at the moment the ball carrier is just baiting players in for Sab to pick up beatdowns.
Now let's keep in mind, we heard about the scrim results, that you had such a one-sided victory for the side of G2, but keep in mind, this game type actually, Complexity did take a round there in the scrims as well.
4 dead here for G2. So it's going to be Complexity with another opportunity to hold here, but the score is 50-16. So this is going to have to be not just a hold for one wave of spawners here, Andy, but maybe 2 and 3 before we start to see maybe this game start to get tied up. But one way to at least give yourself some sort of advantage is to have an overshield. However, a 1-for-1 trade is not the result that you want.
Did not expect that Repulsor to come into the action there, the Complexity side. So look at Straight Stick. Oh boy! He sends them both off. Mind the gap. Double kill for Straight Stick with the Repulsor.
Yeah, goodbye, boys. I'll see you on the respawn screen. I don't want to fight you. I want to send you into the icy depths of what is the back of live fire. Here's Sabinator, though. He's going to have the Mangler in hand. He's also going to be able to drop that nice and quickly to pick up that BR cleanup. But the score getting a little bit closer here. But again, G2 have a comfortable cushion, and it just feels like they've never really been pressured in this game so far. Rob the Turtle needs to pick up this kill as quickly as possible. Hysteria is going to be there, but that extra second has allowed Tusk to get in now to pick up those 2 kills, and now he has the ball too.
Not going to lie, it's not a good feeling when you get 2-for-1 Repulsor off the edge of the map, and as you and your teammate are going off, you kind of look at each other as you're going down.
Hold hands at least.
This is not going to end well, and you have to think that might have been just a little bit of extra, bit of a dagger, not just into this game and series, but also the scoreline, 66-28.
Yes, it's starting to look like a G2 win at this point, unless Complexity can start to find a little bit more momentum on their side. But Train and Vetra both picking up kills. It's going to be Rob the Turtle who picks up a kill onto Straight Stick as well. And now you're seeing 3-4 dead here for G2. Complexity have the ball back in Garage. Now, how can they hold? Because so far, they've been a little bit kind of all over the place with their holds. We'll have to see how it works out.
You have to see, right? Looking to see exactly what might happen with the Observer there. We'll go ahead and find out exactly. It looks like we might not have lost the players. Might have been the Observer there. So we're going to get an update from production and find out exactly what's going on. But what I was about to say, Mark, is just the fact that we're now, I mean, if a Complexity can win 1 round in scrims, they can win this game type. So hopefully that's what's happening. We'll have to find out. As I said, it might be the match is continuing on stage and we might have lost the Observer. We'll wait for that update.
Yeah, we'll try and get that updated as soon as we possibly can for you. We're hearing that both Observers have crashed, but I think the game is
That should mean the game is continuing now. So unfortunately, we'll lose feed here, but that game will continue on. We shouldn't make it up.
We shouldn't make it up. Let's definitely not do that.
We did that once before. It didn't go well.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the point you were making.
What we can talk about, yeah.
Which is, the fact that stealing 1 round away, all of a sudden, the confidence that can bring to a team, and how,
there we go.
Hey, Caleb, we got the over-the-shoulder
This is what I was hoping
right
for. Shout out to production here for getting us an over-the-shoulder cam. Unfortunate that we did lose both Observers at once there, but we are able to focus on one POV. We'll try to get that camera locked onto a little bit of a close view so we can at least talk about what we're seeing in this game right now. Let's take a look at the score. It looks like it is 98-44, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this is going to be the round in the map, by the looks of things, going to G2, unless Complexity can hold for quite some time. Rob the Turtle's going to pick up 2, though.
Hysteria POV as well. Hysteria over the shoulder. Let's see. This would be quite a comeback to see from this screen. It is indeed 98-55.
Well, certainly going to have to roll back the years here if they want to turn this one around. But the way that they are holding things at the moment, it's not looking like it's out of the realms of possibility for Complexity. 1 kill going to be picked up. Rob Turtle's going to pick up another one now. Gilky managing to sneak through, though, and look at that. Gilk and Sab managing to combine for 2 kills here for G2. It looks like the break might be coming in at least, getting the ball out of their hands. The ball falls to G2, and as you say, that's going to be it. Victory for G2 in our map number 1. They go up 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, they're going to be feeling good about that. I think any time where it started to get close just a little bit there, you see Tusk and Straight Stick getting excited about that result. But any time where we saw Complexity getting a little bit of momentum, G2 was very quick to shut it down.
Yeah, it wasn't too much of a struggle for them at any point in the game. Even when they went 3 or 4 down, which is always going to happen against a team like Complexity. A very talented team, very individually skilled. They're going to win those 1v1s occasionally and get numbers on their side. They were able to fight out of it pretty comfortably. Yeah. I don't really remember Complexity managing to hold more than 1 wave of a push coming in. Even if it was the first push that they managed to deal with to get 20, 30 seconds of ball time on their hands, that was all it was. The second wave was a little bit more organized from G2, maybe just taking a second to go, hey, let's just slow this down a second. Let's make sure that we do something cool and manage to get the break. Speaking of something cool, how about this for a triple from Gilky?
Look at that. And Rob might have gotten the call out, because anyone who's played enough Halo together, by the way, look at this. Somehow the ball doesn't play for Sab, but we've all been there where someone says, don't give him the over, don't give him the over, run away, run away. And I think Rob the Turtle found out that there was a triple, and he was not giving away that overkill for free.
Yeah, on the other side of things, it's give me the over, give me the over, give it, where's the over, where's the over? But this is the first time I've seen in competitive play, at least, in a LAN event, 2 players being sent off the back of the map, and we'll have to see. Do you know what? It's going to happen at one point. It's going to be a 4-man pushback tower.
Oh,
they're all going to look into each other's eyes.
We'll start small. We'll see the triple next.
Okay, let's not get ahead of us.
We'll work our way up there. But Streets Slayer next. Keep in mind, as Gaskin pointed out here, and our great stats support also has helped us see in scrim results. I believe it was a 50-46 Street Slayer between these two. G2 with the win, however, the closest Slayer that we've seen in their scrim results for sure. Yeah,
and just remember, if you're a Complexity fan you're watching right now, I'd say the best chance in the series to take a game off of G2 to find your way into the series, so to speak, is going to be a Slayer. And I think Streets is one of those maps where you can find a way to snowball kills together. You have the rocket launcher in the middle, you have the ability to control, not only that, but you have the Stalker Rifle, you have the Bulldog. If you get the first 4 or 5 dead in this game, and I'm talking about maybe picking off one off Respawn there after the initial push, you can get all of those into your hands, and before you know it, you can have a pretty, almost insurmountable lead.
Absolutely. It's an opportunity also to slow the momentum of G2, right? Because Street Slayer is a game type you can play quickly. However, if you start to find yourself on the back foot, you do need to slow it down. I think G2 came into those games, those rounds, game 1 of the series, really rolling and really firing on all cylinders. This is a chance for Complexity to really get G2 just off their grind. Let's change the momentum, change the direction of the series. If you're a Complexity player or a Complexity fan, that's what you're hoping to see.
I want to highlight this guy on your screen that right now, Straight Sick, because I feel like he's one of those players who I see online. He's like, just get me off, get me back to land, man. Like, get me off this online stuff, because he is a player who can take over not only series but tournaments. I've seen this man just pop off on a Sunday where it's like Straight Sick looks like the best player in the game. He gets a sniper in his hand and he ain't missing. And I think that it's a real opportunity for him to remind everyone here in Halo Infinite. And it sounds like pretty crazy to say, like, remind everyone, this being the second LAN event that we've actually have. But there's a lot of games under the belts of these players now, and I think that Straight Sick has the opportunity now to remind everyone that he is one of the best main slayers that we have. And for G2, I think it's almost vital that if they want success, he has to put up the numbers for them.
Yeah, I think so too. Straight Sick, just like you said, the man can absolutely pop off. He can take control of games where you see the post-game stats and you're like, oh my God, this man just dropped a 40 bomb in this objective, and you might not even have known just because he does it so cool, calm, and collected. So that's what we're looking for from the G2 side. We're going to keep an eye on that. But honestly, I think G2 is a team that can play at any pace, and whatever Complexity brings, even in the opening of the Slayer, they're going to have to play the entire marathon of this Slayer. I don't care if they have a 10-kill lead, 12-kill lead somewhere in this Street Slayer. They need to make sure they close out the game.
I think a great point that you were kind of alluding to here as we do head into our second game of this series as well is I don't want to see G2 get lazy in this game as well. You've won game number 1. It was pretty comfortable. We have to, acknowledge that it was pretty comfortable. It was 2-0, but also the way that the game actually unfolded in front of us. You can go into the start of a Slayer in a game number 2 thinking, hey, we're going to go 2 up in this series. We just got to get the rockets. It's kind of that like slightly lackadaisical approach to think. You got to be on it against a team like Complexity, because as we previously mentioned, you lose that first fight, that first engagement. Every other fight you're going to have is going to be at a disadvantage.
Yep. And keep in mind, we're not in the bracket yet. Every match matters here. Just winning this series is not what you need to worry about, especially in a pool like this. Here we go, game number 2.
Well, it's going to be Hysteria POV we're going to be watching again. He's going to be just caught by that frag grenade as it rolls down driveway. Maybe just trying to bait a couple of players up by not showing any presence, but we'll have that thrust to play with. Sab's going to pick up the first kill of the game to open things up here. Vetra is going to be backing down, and excuse me, it's going to be Straight Sick, who is actually the POV that we're watching from the start here. He has the thrust to play with, and now he's trying to anchor, but almost manages to get that stick, but a good start actually here. Complexity manages to trade out. Trayan's going to pick up the kill as well with the Pulse Carbine, and that's going to be G2, 2 dead.
I mean, that sums up Triton for you there, and very, very nice double kill here. He has the highest KD on this team. It's a great start for him. Let's see if they can steamroll that and try to get into some momentum here in this game number 2.
Well, 4-4, so neither team has any kind of advantage, so to speak, but a little push coming in from Tusk towards Arcade is going to give the kills advantage, at least, and the numbers over to G2 here. So what can they make of this? Rob the Turtle's going to be weak, and now you're seeing the collapse come in from G2, and this is what you need to see. Vetra's going to be down to no shields. He's managed to survive. Gilkey will clean that one up, and now look at the push coming in. Tusk holding down this heaven position, and while all of this is going on, the distraction is there for Gilkey. I'm pretty sure just picked up a little triple kill.
There's a reason they call it heaven. You saw the angles he had. He's so easily able to be selective about the angles that he's exposing, just able to bait and switch, pop in, pop out. He can just really choose where he wants to expose himself to, provide so much support to that entire cafe, that A area. There they are now with a 4-kill lead.
And this is what I'm talking about. It's a 4-kill lead because it was a 4 dead. Now look what you're fighting against. So vital that Vetra picks up that double kill. And now Gilkey's actually last alive. So Complexity flooded one side of the map there to make sure they at least got a trade, because Gilkey has the Bulldog. And what a turnaround that is for Complexity. And let me tell you, I can hear some noise from that main stage right now. It sounds like Complexity want to take this one home.
Yeah, and Rob comes all the way in there to finish their attires. They're not letting those players stay alive. They're making sure to finish those kills, the ones that they especially need to, and just like that, Complexity begs you back to 13-11 now. Big 7-kill swing here.
Now this is where if you're G2, you're not going to start feeding kills, right? You've got to make sure that you're playing your life. Play with a teammate off of spawn. Make sure that you're being as difficult as kill as possible, because Complexity have not only map control, but also weapon control here. Straightsick will pick up one, and also, as you just saw in the back pocket there, I'm pretty sure he's got a rocket to play with, but he's not going to get to use it, because Triton's going to take him down bottom of B stairs.
Good pressure there from Triton, the entire Complexity side there. They'll maintain just a little bit of a lead. The big question is those rocks that I do believe are full at the bottom of B stairs, where they will go, because they will dictate likely who gets maybe the next opening here. As we take a look, Rob the Turtle trying to think about maybe a heaven angle, but knew that there might be a little bit too much pressure there. We'll have to see where those rocks went.
This time it's going to be G2 who get the first 2 kills in the 4v4. Rob the Turtle, you got to hit those shots, my friend, because otherwise Gilkey and Sab, they're going to win the fight every single time. That's a little bit of a misstep there from Rob, especially in a close quarters battle. You got to hit the shots with the Bulldog.
And you saw Gilkey for a second there. He did swap out those rockets there, indicating that he at least used both. And based on the scoreline, we could say that he was pretty successful with them. So just like that, G2 now swings that again, and they're up by 4.
Hysteria trying to stay alive there. Managing to do so. Look at this move coming in from Gilkey, though. The timing there was absolutely perfect. Sab's got that Bulldog too. That's 3 dead for Complexity. Rob the Turtle is going to be the last player alive, and I'm pretty sure that he was off of the spawn. So 22-16 the score. And once again, Sab just trying to patrol around tires, waiting for the opportunity to strike with his Bulldog.
This is perfect. Just comes right back around. They can't keep enough eyes on it somehow. They get away there, but you think with Gilkey's support and PD, they should have been able to pick up a little bit more pressure there, but instead just going to wisely retreat, and Sab knows there's no rush here.
Yeah, Sab has to rotate, though, towards the pink street here, because you just saw that his teammate Straightsick went down. Gilkey's going to even up the numbers across the map, but there's always going to be a player, and that's a huge play from Sab there, making sure that player who was always going to be the threat to G2 setup there, with that flank, is taken down and doesn't have too much of an impact.
Yeah, certainly would have gotten a call out there. Killing spree for Sab. What's he going to do? Back A as well? No! Microwave comes out from Rob the Turtle, but he'll swap it out for the Bulldog. Maybe he'll have better luck here. It's a 6-kill game.
The Turtle picks up 1, manages to survive as well, and that's so important in Slayers, not only picking up the kills, but of course, making sure that it's a +1, not a 0 in that KD. Tusky's going to pick up the kill, though. Hysteria has the rockets to play with. He picks up just the 1 kill, though, and I think there's still a rocket down there in the chamber. So Hysteria gets the trade. G2 fall to 2 alive on the map as try and takes down Sab, and that should mean the rocket will go over to Complexity as well, and the score's starting to get a little bit tighter, and if he can hit this rocket, it'll get even tighter.
Like we said, Triton the most efficient Slayer on this team. Now they've kept it at a 4-kill game. They've blown that earlier 5-kill lead here, but now has kept this game close. So they just need to make sure that they stop the momentum at some pace, right? They cannot continue trading at this pace. However, they've really kept this game respectable.
Push kind of come in, and you can see there was a little bait and switch coming in. Yes, 1 kill with the rocket is great, but again, you got to get away with your life in that kind of position. Rob the Turtle is going to get taken down with the Bulldog as well. It's the second time we've seen a close range fight not being made, taken advantage of with that Bulldog from Rob. Unfortunately, things not going his way. Maybe just drop that Bulldog off to someone else, let them do that job. Sometimes it can happen. You get that trust coming in. It's not easy to hit those shots to snap onto those players. Up in heaven, Rob the Turtle, though, is going to respond with a couple of kills in the feed, so not letting it get to him too much.
2-kill game here, 33-31. Then look at that play from Hysteria right there. He doesn't tuck away. Back A, a lot of players, when they get that pressure from heaven, they're going to run away right away. But he gets the call out, knowing that he can help there as well. Let's see what he could do against Gilkey. Great shots from Gilk, but still just a 4-kill game, 35-31.
1 missed shot there from Gilk, and that would have been him, unfortunately, falling to his death. 36-31, though, and look at the kill feed. You can see the Sab's picked up a double, and Tusky's putting the pings in. Rob the Turtle is going to be caught up in heaven and turns for heaven into hell for him as he falls into the death screen. Hysteria now trying to survive around PD as Gilkey is keeping the pressure on. Straightsick is there to pick up that kill, and now you're seeing G2 start to work together a little bit more.
There's a gap there, right? Gilkey pushes from Cafe. You have 2 players coming out of PD, Heaven and PD Stairs. They need to be watching that A angle. You need to be making sure there's no one coming Cafe. He gets all those free shots, all that free damage.
But look at this, the timing of that 4 dead coming in from Complexity. They managed to get 4 dead. They have rockets popping at exactly the same time, and now it's a 3-kill game between the 2 teams. And let me tell you, Hysteria's still got a rocket to play with.
I was going to say, if there's one guy I want with a rocket left on this stage, it's Hysteria. The man knows how to clutch up. And that's like you say, 2-kill game, 39-41, not over yet.
Straightsick's here, and he's going to use the rocket to pick up the kill as well, but not without Straightsick at least getting a trade. But speaking of trades, there's a double coming in from Hysteria. A 1-kill game between the 2 teams now. Complexity have roared back into this.
Just like this, G2 does pick up another one, though. So the question is, what is Hysteria going to be able to do here? You'll take a look. It's a lot of C and bottom Neon's control coming in from the side of G2. They're starting to make the B push as well.
Big moments in the game. Hysteria going to miss that beat down. It's going to cost him as well. The thrust comes in from straight stick. Gilkey picks up another, and it can be those tiny, small moments in the clutch moments that matter in games that can have that game fall through your fingers. Vetra, though, he still has that Bulldog. Takes down Gilkey, trying to survive as well. 2 dead for G2, and it's a 1-kill game once more.
Just like that, 46-44, now tied up, 46-46. We'll have to see how this one plays out. Straight stick with some amazing plays, but somehow, despite all that, we are tied up with 4 kills to go apiece.
Yeah, this is just a shootout now. This is almost like a deathmatch, right? If you die, it's a 4v4, and it's going to be Gilkey who's going to have to spike grenades, who picks up the first kill here. That's going to create the opening. You can see the Trine and Complexity are trying to back off and survive. Gilkey's going to be pushing in, though. He'll pick up the 48th. Tusk is going to pick up the 49th. And G2 from the back foot close things out. But you have to say, maybe Complexity, that was the chance to win the game in the series there. But G2 with the clutch factor.
Absolutely clinical at the end there. 46-46, we thought things might slow down for just a second. You were watching the B angles over to C Balk, and with the way that the teams were set up, with a full split map setup, I think we all thought that that was going to slow down a little bit. Instead, it's a very fast double B Street push coming in from G2. They pick up 2 players with very fast team shots. You could tell the Triton got caught off guard in the back as well. And in doing so, they picked up the 47th, the 48th, and the 49th. Then all is a matter at the end of just pushing the last player in PD.
I'm going to give a shout out to Gilkey as well. In that situation, managing to get away with spike grenades. And I don't know where he threw them, if it was up towards ATM, maybe on P Street, or someone maybe hiding with the Bulldog, or if it was towards tires. You can throw their spike grenades in there. It gives you so much damage, just shred through shields.
But that was the opener, like you said.
That's the opener, and that's map knowledge as well. That's knowing that you can create opportunities in standoffs by picking up those spike grenades.
Fantastic plays from both sides here. And like we said, we expected this Slayer, based off of the scrim results between these two teams, to be very close. And that's exactly what we got in the end. Even though we saw 4 and 5 kill swings back and forth for each side, with teams exchanging the lead just a little bit early on. We did see a lead from Complexity, but G2 really had it for the rest of the game. But here's your moment, right? We got tied up right around the 42 mark, and we thought this was going to end a little bit differently.
Yeah, I certainly did. You can see here just these final moments. Vetra with the Bulldog, a killing spree right in the last moments of the game, but it was the opening that G2 asked for, and they managed to pick up. And one thing that impressed me from G2 as well, once they got that first kill, they weren't afraid to flood that B Street. Like I say, you'll see teams still stand off and think, hey, we don't want to throw this away.
Right. Confidence.
G2 don't have that about them.
It is the confidence. And also, we got to highlight, you might have seen Straight Stick, that great offensive play with the thruster into tires to win that melee battle.
Yeah.
And then he thrusts out of tires back to bottom middle to get away. Then he scurries away bottom middle again. He gets away 3 times using perfect offensive and defensive thruster there. So that's something a little nuanced you might have only caught. That's not going to be reflected in the stats, but really great opening plays from Straight Stick to create damage in a place like tires that's so hard to get in and out of. He does it so efficiently with the thruster.
It's something I've seen quite a lot, actually, especially on streets, is the thrust into tires, right? Because it's the last thing you expect. Even if you've got a Bulldog in your hands, rockets, whatever it might be, you're kind of holding your angle right. You're standing there and you're thinking, anyone walks around this corner, I'm going to be able to kill them before they kill me, because I've got that spacing advantage and weapon advantage. But the last thing you expect when a player backs off is for him to fly straight back at you with a beatdown towards you, and it catches so many players off guard. I remember it happening with a rocket launcher around there as well. I think it was respectful from Na'Vi back in Raleigh who managed to do it. It was a huge play that created an opening there, but here we're going to kind of draw our attentions away from what just happened to what is happening right now as we head into our 3rd game of the series. G2 looking to close out the 3-0 sweep.
See what happens with this opening camo here, like you say. If you're just joining us, it's G2 2-0 right now over Complexity. The result that we expected to see so far, but does Complexity have extra gas in the tank to send this series the distance?
Off the break here, it's going to be G2 have control of C, but it will be Complexity who have A and B. But as I say that, you can already see that there's a player from G2 inside of B. They also have a momentary numbers advantage. They also have Sabinator, who has the camo and the sword, and he's going to be trying to take down one player, but at the moment, all of the focus of Complexity is going to be on him, and Sab gets taken down, and that's a little bit unfortunate for him, knowing you have not only one power weapon, but a power-up as well to get taken down with no kills. Huge from Complexity.
Big props to Complexity for the way they handled that situation. Not easy to take down a player like Sab with a camo sword as he's patrolling control, but they really had some nice baiting and switching and getting the right angles that they needed. However, early on, it's early control, 24-5.
Yeah, really impressive play here, actually, from Complexity. There was a lot to talk about there, Eddie. You saw the player kind of sneak in as Gilkey's going to have to hit a crazy shot and not going to be able to with that shock rifle, but you noticed how You notice how they baited the player who was inside of B there. They sent one player out when it was a 4v4 and were like, hey, if you want to challenge him, GT, you're going to have to watch all these crosses because we've got you covered. It was kind of sneaky, to be honest, from Complexity. I like the way they set that up. Absolutely.
Now taking a look at some shock angles for the side of Tusk. A comfortable lead, but it has been a continued BC control from Complexity to bring this game right back in the action. We'll have to see what Tusk can do here from the anchor, and with angles like that, it's going to help his team make sure that they maintain as much control as they can of the control area.
B gets turned over, though, to G2. Tusk now has control of A, and this is a power position that you need to hold down for quite some considerable time. And look at that timing from Hysteria. He turned away at just the wrong time, and Tusk, maybe just with a little bit of a showboat grapple, we'll say there, to make sure he could close the ground and make sure he had that kill in his pocket. Triton's going to be one shot inside of B. He'll be taken down as well. G2 picking up kills, but B got turned over once more. AC, though, in control of G2.
Yeah, right now, this is good for them because they're just going to continue to bait, but my God, once again, very nice prioritization and handling of the sword player from Complexity. They're going to hold AB once again, and if they continue this, I think they're going to stay toe-to-toe, but they just cannot they got to make sure they don't get 3 dead, 4 dead. That's when things will start to get out of control.
It's been an extremely scrappy start to this game. It seems like no one's quite had the control that they've wanted so far, but saying that at the same time, now it will be one team with complete control. 50-39 to score and rising in the side of Complexity. They have a triple cap, but look at this. Already inside of B is G2. They're trapped to pipes, though. They have to be careful.
Tusk, by the way, 6-3 right now. Some big numbers from him, or standout performance so far. We'll have to see if that continues from him in this game. Sab will take down Vetro. They'll maintain control of pipes.
And they'll keep G2 stuck at pipes here. And that's absolutely fine for Complexity. Sure. You can see they have control of A and C. They are going to have to try and hold off a push that looks like it's going to be coming in towards A from G2. Hysteria's trying to watch the cross, but you can already see the conversion onto A. The next thing is kills. Where do they happen on the map? If they fall over at A into the hands of G2, they'll be able to wrestle things away, and that looks like what's happening.
Looks like they should be able to. Oh boy, Rob putting up a great fight against Sab there. Made the legs a bit shaky, perhaps, of Sab, but he stays calm through that one. 2 dead again, another one dead from Complexity, so should be a little bit more continued control. But hey, a 20-point lead here for Complexity. They've certainly showed up in game number 3.
They certainly have. However, I've not seen anything from either team at the moment that's shown that they can run away with this game. Even when we've had triple caps, it's kind of been very quickly turned over. Yeah. Teams kind of a little bit hesitant in if they want to make a play or not. Speaking of making a play, there's Hysteria. And for the first time, it seems like the sword has been effective in this game. It's been a little bit cursed so far. Here's Guilt, though, and there's Vetro, who's going to win the battle of pipes. And that'll mean it looks like a triple cap might be turning back over to Complexity as those kills go in their hand as well. Camo pop in 2.
Just like you say, though, C getting flipped right away, so that trip cap ended immediately, and it will be a C flip, but it will still be points on the board here for Complexity AB.
Rob the Turtle managed to get a camo as well, and now he's an invisible turtle. There's Triton will pick up the kill with a little bit of help. Straight Sick is going to try and escape, but Straight Sick with a little bit of help from Gilkey not only will be there to help out with that kill, but also manages to stay alive. So the camo has been neutralized. Not too much of an impact here for Complexity. However, they still have that 2 cap, but here comes Straight Sick.
He was an invisible turtle, but that ended real quick. Interestingly, Shock Rifle not being a huge factor yet. Players not clutching up with the shots that they need to hit, and actually it's been a little bit of a curse. If you have that Shock Rifle, you will lose almost every battle that we've seen.
Triple cap here for G2, though. And now you have Gilkey. He's going to be in a perfect position here because you see all the players are going to be over at C from Complexity. The fact that they just capped it, now it's going to be one of 2 pushes for Complexity, right? Do you push towards tower? Do you push towards C? If you push towards C, it's going to be Gilkey with a sword who's waiting for you.
Gilkey expecting the faster rotate. You can see he's like, where is everybody? Little John Travolta meme coming in there as he takes a look around, and then very nice killing spree from Gilkey as well. Just like that, we essentially have a tie game here at the 104 mark.
Spawns are going to be coming in at C as well once more. So G2 have Complexity trapped here. So you would expect this lead to elongate even more if they can pick up the kills that they need to. For Complexity here, it's about taking your time. It's about putting damage down. Angle. Otherwise, you're just going to be filtering kills over to G2. Sab picks up 1, Gilkey picks up 2, and that's exactly what I was talking about. You can't let it happen. Hysteria in the 1v1 at least manages to stay alive and pick up a kill, but Stray Six there for the trade.
You can't let Gilkey have that angle. When he is bottom A elevator and just doing devastating damage to player going mid-bridge and whirlpool and across batteries, that is an angle you cannot allow a player like Gilkey to have. It completely single-handedly destroys your push.
Vetro going to be pushed off of the sneaky ledge. by that repulsor. Hysteria and try and pick up kills though, so Vetra's going to have a little bit of space to work with to wait for his shields to come back. And with that, it looks like a move on to B is going to be made here by Complexity. While this happens, look at the move on to A. This could be a complete turnaround, and you have to say Complexity doing a good job of learning from the mistakes of the previous push and making sure they took their time. The triple cap now in effect.
Yeah, G2 put a lot of points on the board on that last run, so Complexity has a little bit of catch up to go, but this camo certainly could aid that. Look at the sneaky plays here from Stab.
Gonna have to hit the beat down though. Where's Hysteria? Did he stay alive? Hysteria's taken down. So Vetra and Hysteria fall for Complexity. G2 taking their time and maybe assigning a little bit of, their resources towards getting that camo in hand. And you can see why here. The respawn, the reset is gonna come in from Sabernator onto B. C is also in their hands, and now he has the shock rifle and might be able to hit the shot onto Hysteria to stop that C conversion.
Look at the camo efficiency. Look at the difference there when you saw the last Complexity camo versus the camo plays that we're seeing here. Oh boy. Almost got away too. It's sad. They're trying to dance around not only opponent's nade, but his own nades as well.
But again, that's over-aggression from G2 there. They didn't have to make that play. They could have let that capture go away. They could have then tried to respawn, watch the angles. And because they've done that, they lost so many numbers. Now it's Complexity who are scoring again. I get that you want to be aggressive. You want to be on the front foot, but you've got to realize sometimes when holding on strongholds is the best thing to do.
Certainly, yeah, a little bit of, as you say, a little bit of over-aggression, maybe overzealousness from them. Interested in getting this game over with as fast as they can in our game number 3. But the control will continue here. Complexity just holding. And now they're going to start to lose C, though, so they're going to have to work together on this if they can, but they need to maintain control of this pipes area as well.
I like this from Vetra, though. Just prioritization is such a vital part of being a good Halo player, recognizing where the most important kills were. And now Tusk, with that play coming in from Complexity, he finds himself last alive. Complexity make the push onto A as they recognize that the spawns are coming in at C. If they get this conversion, then they might have a chance of turning things around, but look at the kill. Sab is going to sneak up behind the player inside of the hill, and Hysteria is there to get the trade at least, but all of the flooding now happening on the other side of the map. G2 fought out of that so well.
They did, and Gilkey knows right away to fly into A. He knows that's his opening there. No players are going to be spawning in back elevator. He's going to get that trip cap right away. C has answered back, and it's a nice little grapple camo snag for Gilk as well. This could be the home stretch for them.
Yeah, Gilkey's just going to try and protect A here. You can see the rest of his teammates are going to be kind of tasked with holding B, and Gilkey's going to be the pain in the backside to anyone who tries to move in on A. For now, he can kind of just scurry around, though. He might be able to actually pick up a kill and be a little bit more expressive as Straight Stick has done the damage already. There's the kill onto Vetra. Now you can see Tusk and the rest of the team. This is when they need to collapse. This is when they need to put the pressure on. That's exactly what happens. Tusk gets the kills that he needs to, and now you can see Complexity trapped at pipes.
Pipes push coming here. Guess what? Gilkey is ready for it. He's even pre-nading. I don't know who's going to get out of this one, though. Vetra and Triton will do very well to make that A push happen. But this is dangerous. 223 already on the board. 222, excuse me, to 147.
Now it's starting to get a little bit desperate here for Complexity because there's not much time left for them to work with in this game. They've managed to convert A, but look at this. It's going to be Tusk flying through from the top of tower to make sure that he gets not only the kill, but also the conversion onto B. 4 dead here for Complexity. G2 starting to march away with things towards the end of the game. And this is the clutch factor like we saw in the last game in effect once more.
Oh boy, Tusk also with some very good shots against Vetra was thinking about making the push there and does not happen. And that is going to be the home stretch here. Now they're going to still be scoring with this, and we'll have to see if they can jump into A. Looks like they might have an angle.
Complexity have one more opportunity to make a play. Sabernator has a chance to shut it down, though. There's the beatdown. There's the kill. Doesn't manage to get the stop on the conversion. No, Hysteria and Vetra managed to work together just long enough to get the conversion onto A, but the difficulty now is where do you prioritize? Do you try and be aggressive on the spawns? Do you try and hold B? At the moment, Complexity has some really nice map control here, Andy, so they might be able to actually make a hold.
Let's see what kind of run they could do here, and now we're starting to see the shock rifle light up a bit. Triton able to connect with that. That will maintain the one-man advantage momentarily. Like you said, they have to watch both sides here, heads on a swivel, make sure no push comes in, because as soon as one side setup breaks, it could spell disaster.
Well, if it breaks for Complexity, it's game. It's as simple as that, but it's not breaking for Complexity. They are holding strong at the moment. More importantly, they're always getting the first kill in this team fight at the moment, but now you're going to see Tusk with the camo in his hands. If he can take down the player up the toe, then they're going to create the opening of pipes. All the attention is going to be on Tusk now. The rest of G2 can flood. He's inside a B, and he looks like he's making a play, but has to jump out because his teammates have also gone down. But look at these shots. Can't quite finish for now, but Tusk does stay alive, but does not convert B.
Straight Stick, I think, is going to actually be the one that finishes it. He should get B, but C's getting flipped as well. As you can see on your screen here, they should get that flip. Now they're going to focus on A as well.
Now you're going to see the push towards A, and you can already see Hysteria is there.
He's there, he's there.
So again, now G2 are trapped at back pipes, and this is Complexity's chance to maybe turn things back in their favor. The score getting closer. Great shots coming in from Sab, though. That 1v1 win was so vital on the flank.
Wait, Sab gets another kill as well. The melee, I don't think it connected there. Sab is going to be on C. This could be the end right here if he's able to finish on C. The nades are coming in. Multiple players from G2.
G2 get inside of C.
That's it.
And it's going to be the play from Sab that turns things around. And just at the last second, G2 will manage to hold firm to get that win on the board. It's 3-0 in the series. But again, there was certainly some things to work on for G2 at the end of that game. They were made to work for it by Complexity.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that end hold, that was the most convincing hold we saw from Complexity, without a doubt. It was probably the most convincing set of plays that we saw in the whole series from Complexity. Don't count this team out. A set of really talented players here, but as expected, based on the results that we saw coming into this tournament, it is G2 with the 3-0.
And pick up the 3-0, but it wasn't comfortable by any stretch of the imagination. Let's take ourselves back. That could have been a game 2 that did not go in their favor. That could have been a game 3 that did not go in their favor.
Right, this could be a 2-1 series. Right
yeah,
now.
We could be heading into a game 4, just those little things that didn't go in the favor of their opponents. But, you know, for Complexity, I think there's a lot of good things to take out of that. Maybe apart from the oddball, that was heavily in the favor of G2. But if we talk about clutch teams, right, we talk about clutch moments. G2 showing once again, maybe it's just the experience that is across this 4 of being in those situations so many times, that's what wins your games, and more importantly, that's what wins your series.
Yeah, I was really, I think in the end, G2 is going to feel good about that one. I agree. Not comfortable. I think they had to work for it, but in terms of how a first series goes, I think it's a pretty good one for them. I think they're going to carry this momentum through the rest of the bracket.
Yeah, the most important thing is the score, right? It's 3-0. 3-0, and you know, that's the thing that everyone remembers. That's what goes down in the history books, and for G2, I think it is the kind of start they would have wanted. I think that Gilkey was making some plays that kind of remind us, hey, Gilkey's here to play. You know what I mean? Like, when Gilkey's here to play, it's a lot of fun to watch. And I think the rest of the team are kind of following along with that as well. I am excited to watch Complexity play, though. I have to say, I was impressed with moments with what they did, but it seemed like those moments only came when they had to. It was almost like, oh, we've got to make a play now. We've got to start playing now because otherwise we'll lose the game. You got to do that from the first moment, from the first shot on the map.
Yeah, very rarely did we see them dictating the game, right? Very rarely did we see them as the decision makers, as the one that were really leading the way in the game. Like you said, they were on the back foot, they were reacting. Sometimes they pulled out some amazing double kills here and there when they absolutely had to on the receiving end of a push. Very rarely did we see them really being the aggressors until the end of that last game that we just saw.
Yeah, it's going to be certainly something for Complexity to watch, and I think if you're Complexity, you watch that series back and you probably learn a lot quite quickly. And it could be put right very, very quickly. So a lot for them to take away for sure. But for G2, I think there's certainly signs of goodness. But again, you can also see why maybe they're just a little bit short on breaking into that top 4 at the moment, because for me, it's always the things, I talk about timing a lot. I talk about speed of play, right? And it's for good reason, because you can see there for G2, sometimes the timing was a little bit off on when they were trying to be over-aggressive. And then you find yourself on the back foot. Now, all these things add up. G2, just a little bit off.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I think we just saw some great plays, like you said, some great routes from Gilkey, everything like that. But I think we do have plays on the stage with Straight Stick here on the G2 side. So, Blaze, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Bravo and Onset. On the main stage with Straight Stick, as you guys know, G2 coming out on top. And my man, it was a 3-0 finish, and it was quick. How are you and the boys feeling today here at the Regionals?
I mean, honestly, we've been putting in a lot of work ever since our new pickup of Tusk. So it's been a lot of hard groundwork for us to get the teamwork flowing and the communication going. Working as a team has been something that we've been really focusing on, because sometimes the individual plays can hinder the team, but I think that focusing on the comms is our biggest thing for sure.
There you go. And that actually leads me to my next question, especially with you, Tusk, and the guys. When it comes down to G2, what do you guys want to do to a little bit be more consistent as a team, okay? Because we'll see you take down some top squads, then come up against some other teams that you should beat, but it's challenging moving forward. How do you guys want to be more smooth?
Well, I think that it just comes down to us polishing our setups in the way that we want to play the game.
Yeah.
When we play our own game and we have good comms and we're working together, we're not toxic about anything, and we're really keeping our death cams on point and really paying attention to everything, I think that we can beat any team.
There you go.
It's just about the consistency factor, like you said.
Staying cool, calm, collected, fighting as a unit, and not fighting alone, because you guys are all nasty players, okay? We know you're Straight Stick, all right? But sometimes you got to do it as a squad. And now, when it comes down to the fans who are rooting for you, any messages for them? Any message to the competition out there as G2 looking to come out here on top?
I mean, huge shout out to the G2 fans. You guys are awesome as always. You guys support us like crazy. Much love to everybody at home. I'm in Anaheim, California.
Nice.
I'm from California. I always love being in Anaheim. My first tournament ever was Anaheim 06. So being here is always an amazing thing. Shout out to everybody.
Hey, we got a classic OG on the main stage. As you guys already know, from Cali, looking to do it for the hometown. Lottie, Desk, take it away. Break down this awesome series. And me and Straight Stick gonna get ready for the next one.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much. Blaze, thank you so much. Straight Stick as well. I mean, amazing, obviously, result for G2 across the board. Not such a good result, though, for Golden Boy.
Oh, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I had predicted them this whole time.
Oh, yeah,
At
you
no
did
point never was I ever calling for Complexity to win. I had held this card up the entire time,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Go ahead and take
It
your card
definitely
back
wasn't
in.
a star. It was definitely the G2 logo. You weren't making an argument the whole segment
But let me
about
just
it.
say
No,
this.
definitely
Let me
not.
just say
What-
this.
what-
Go on,
what-
go on, go on.
Get it out of the way.
Let me just say my piece.
Say your
okay?
piece.
One of the things that we constantly were harping on G2 about
Mm-hmm.
was the fact that they put themselves in these situations where they're going to need to clutch up. And they didn't just have to do it one time, they had to do it 2 times. And that has been the issue with G2. They are a phenomenal team with players that are world class, but it keeps on happening like this, and they're going to have to figure out sooner or later what's going on here.
The big thing that separates G2 from some of our top teams, probably that tier 2, that top 5 that we have here in Anaheim, is that G2 relies solely, it feels like, on individual plays. Individual players to make individual plays that are great, that will get them over the hump and get them individual map wins. Some of our best teams in the world, they do it not only with the individual plays, but they do it as a team. They have so much structure to their setups and whatnot. And listening to the Straight Stick interview, that's a big focus for this G2 team to get over that hump, to get into that top 4. They didn't really show us that they had that in this series, but you get out unscathed, you win 3-0, build on this, and then later on when you play much tougher teams in Complexity, we're going to have to see what they're made of as far as a unit, as far as a team is concerned, if they want to go as far as they want.
Yeah, the cohesion is definitely lacking, and it needs to be, I think, a bit more of a chem issue, I think, with G2 and feeling each other out on the team, like knowing exactly what you want to do when and having that organization behind you. I think they have a fantastic level of skill on this team, but it's how you use it. Gaskin, I've got to talk to you about the Slayer match, man, because the same result happened again. I mean, talk to me about the stats. Talk to me about what you saw, I think, from both of these teams at this point, because it got to a point, I think it was 46-46, we were drawn. Either team could have swung that in their favor, but it just didn't happen for
I felt
Complexity.
like the smartest guy in the world at
Yeah,
that moment.
GB was like, oh, this is going to happen. It's going to be the swing game, but then it turns into be another 50-46, was the exact same result from their last online scrim. I do think that maybe G2 took advantage of Complexity dropping the ball a little bit, though, because they had just spawned G2 down in station, and they could have quite easily got aggressive and pushed in, but that shows them being a little bit scared of G2. They didn't want to make that push. Instead, they said, hey, it's 46-46. Let's just wait. Let's calm it down. We're back into the game.
Yeah.
And that took the momentum away from them and allowed G2 to dictate the pace. And G2 said, well, we've got to make a play here. We're down in station. They made that play, and they won because of it. So I just want to see Complexity maybe believe in themselves a little bit more. Like, we're here for a reason. We're a team that can take down G2. Why are we fearing a team that actually, realistically, we're not that far away from?
Yeah, indeed. Clutch, I want to ask you a little bit about G2 and maybe some pieces that could be missing, or maybe some pieces that the viewers might be missing at home. Talk to me about underrated players on this roster and why a certain player really needs to have a little bit more respect on what he's doing for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we always talk about Straight Stick and we always talk about Gilkey because they're the flashy players, but I think the best player on this G2 team is Sab. When Sab is playing at his best, it is a thing to watch. I think he's up there with the Boobadubus and the Falcators of the world. He used to team with these guys. He used to play as good, if not better than them when they did team. And he's got so much talent. I think that he's going to be a showcase talent for years to come. And I think that he's going to give this G2 team like such an opportunity to break into the top 4 because you have him paired with a lot of individual skill. And you throw Tusk on there who kind of does it all, does the dirty work. Yeah. And I feel like that's just such a good mesh of players that they can just get the strategies in line and then get on the same page consistently.
And I'm glad you actually mentioned Tusk because he's had quite the experience in Halo Infinite so far, having, jumped from, he was on Space Station, got dropped for Formal, got put back into Space Station again, got dropped again, so his journey has been very, very different than what you would normally expect for a player coming into the game, especially one with his talent. So to kind of go back to your earlier point, Lot, like I do feel like one of the issues that G2 has undoubtedly is that they're 4 individually gifted players that have so much to contribute. The moment that chemistry, that teamwork starts to click, you will see this squad in the top 5. You will see them in the conversation. But right now, I'm not too sure they're there yet. And I hope that this is the tournament that they can establish themselves.
You know, obviously this is our second LAN now. I'm curious to know, Gaskin, really quickly, as we kind of, you know, put a bow on this conversation on the series, is, you know, how long is too late? You know, how long do you have to wait for that chemistry, that cohesion to happen as a team? Is there a particular part where you're like, look, guys, we're all really good, yeah, but it's not working together?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because Halo, historically, there's always been team changes that happen so often. And I'm a big advocate of sticking together and working on things. But sometimes you do reach that skill level barrier where your team just can't break through. But you look in real sports and other esports as well, you sometimes do get teams who just are solid mid-table sides or a team that's going to finish top 8 every time. And that's not a bad thing. Sometimes you just can't surpass it. But at least you're there. Because you can very easily make a change and then suddenly you drop out of that top 8 and some team who's been together longer takes over that position. So it's like, what do you want to do? Do you want to take that risk to try and push yourself into that top 4 and risk dropping down to the top 12? Or do you want to stay as a top 8 team? But we know everyone wants to go better. So that's why we see these team changes, because 3 guys will get together and they'll pick on the one guy who's not really been doing that well statistically and say, you know, he's maybe dropping the back. Maybe we need to get someone else a little bit better in. I don't think that should happen. I think that practice is usually the key here, but certainly changes could come from certain teams, especially when you look at Worlds. Worlds is when so much prize money is going to be on the line.
Yeah, I just want to say G2's not that squad quite yet. They're not that squad. There's a lot of talent. I don't think they have a lot to worry about. The only reason why we're speaking in these terms about G2 is because we know the potential of this team. When we saw this lineup get announced as one of the partner teams in the HCS, we were like, oh boy, that's going to be a good team. That's going to be exciting to watch. So I think it's more or less that we as casters and talent that have been working in this for such a long time, we know what these 4 players are capable of, and the 3-0 was a great display of that. They just got to ensure that they don't let these teams surprise them in the moments where they're caught with their pants down.
So it's the details and the pants being down.
And
pull
the pants.
them up,
Always the pants.
G2. Pull those pants up. Let's take a look right now at the pools, though, and see exactly where we are at. We have some results on the board across all 4 pools. If you guys have been tuning in all day to all 4 of our streams, because we are streaming absolutely every single match. Oh no. We have a couple of different things to talk about here, and one being what we've got coming up next. We have Fnatic versus Space Station. Now there's a lot of things to talk about with that one here, but this pool, Pool B, it's the pool of death. These are very hotly contested teams, a very high competitive kind of a vibe going on in this pool, and they're going to have to work their behinds off if they really want to bring the goods on that main stage. So you especially, Golden Boy, though, with your kind of edgy picks and stuff, buckle up, Barney.
I believe
buckle up, Barney.
Watt says edgy. I just say wrong, but we can call.
That's fair. Okay. Can we just talk about the fact that you look at the pool and G1 beat Space Station?
That's awesome.
That G1 beat Space Station. What is Space Station thinking right now? Because this team has had some. Yeah, they've had a rocky road. I mean, if Tusk had a difficult time, Space Station definitely has not had the best time as well. So I am a little concerned about SSG here. This is a critical matchup and a critical matchup for the newly picked up Fnatic that got to establish themselves.
It is indeed, and they did establish themselves pretty early on into their career with Fnatic by beating Space Station 2. So Space Station right now, I think, are shaking just a little bit in their space boots. But we'll get to that in just a moment. We're going to head to the break, and when we come back, we do have another series on that gorgeous main stage here live from Anaheim. We'll see you right after this.